Hello and welcome to this episode of the Vision Rehab podcast. My name is Steve Keeley and I'm a certified vision rehabilitation therapist, and in these podcasts we'll be discussing issues related to both vision loss and blindness. Thanks for joining me today. Hello and thank you for joining me today on the Vision Rehab podcast. Next week is Vision Rehabilitation Therapist Appreciation Week. The week of April 14th is chosen each year because that's the birthday of Anne Sullivan on April 14, 1866, and she, of course, is one of the pioneers of vision rehabilitation and who we know as Helen Keller's home teacher. Like Anne Sullivan's work over 130 years ago, vision rehab therapists and rehab teachers today work with clients who have a vision loss, whether it's blindness from birth or a vision loss they got later in life from something like diabetes or macular degeneration. When Sullivan first began teaching in the late 1800s, vision rehab therapists were called home teachers. Later, they were called rehab teachers, and more recently, vision rehab therapists, or VRTs for short. VRTs are not part of the medical profession. That's to say that you're going to find them instead in the social services field, usually working for state or community agencies. VRTs are highly trained, usually with a master's degree in rehabilitation and a national certification for vision rehabilitation therapy. Because they often work for state or local nonprofit agencies, you're going to find that their services are often in pretty high demand and that there's often also no out-of-pocket cost to you for services, or they're available on a sliding scale. It's also entirely possible that your eye doctor won't mention these services because they're usually outside the doctor's practice. But you don't need to worry. You don't need a referral from your doctor for a vision rehabilitation therapist. You can simply get connected yourself. The best way to find a VRT usually is through your state's Department of Education or Department of Labor. If you're a computer user, just check out the directory of services at Vision Aware, and the website address for that is visionaware.org/directory. That's where you can look up services by state. Like Anne Sullivan, many vision rehabilitation therapists have a vision impairment themselves, so you'll find that in addition to their extensive training, they're personally familiar with the impact a vision loss can have on your life. It might be difficult for you, if you've had a recent vision loss, to reach out for the skills training that can really help you maintain the independent lifestyle you're accustomed to. In fact, it might be even more difficult for you if those services are provided by an agency that's serving the blind or visually impaired. There's a lot of fear around vision loss that might prevent you from taking that next important step. Unless you have a friend or family member with a vision loss, there's a pretty good chance you're not really aware of the many adaptive skills or technologies that we can use to keep doing the things we've always enjoyed doing at home or work. What can you expect to learn when you work with a vision rehab therapist? Well, VRTs work with clients most often in the client's home or their workplaces on skills like reading, using the computer and phone with a vision loss, everyday tasks like home maintenance, cooking, crafts, leisure activities, and just adjusting to a vision loss. They can help you get some extra training, connect you to a local support group, and provide you with resources you probably didn't even know existed. So if you're experiencing a vision loss, take that first step this week during Vision Rehabilitation Therapist Appreciation Week. If you're having trouble finding a VRT near you, you can always call the APH Connect Center at 800-232-5463 to get some help locating a vision rehab therapist or other resources for a recent vision loss. Let me give you that number again. The APH Connect Center is at 800-232-5463. So here's to you, Ann Sullivan, and all the other VRTs this week as we celebrate Vision Rehabilitation Therapist Appreciation Week. Thanks so much for joining me today on this episode of the Vision Rehab Podcast. Again, my name is Steve Keeley, and you can find me at lowvisiontech.com. I look forward to seeing you again on the next episode of the Vision Rehab Podcast. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for tuning in today to the Vision Rehab Podcast. I really look forward to you joining me in future episodes. If you'd like to get in touch, please email me at lowvisiontech@gmail.com, and that's spelled LOWV as in Victor, ISIONTECH@gmail.com, or visit lowvisiontech.com, and have a terrific day.